This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. What I'm looking at today is the third season of Netflix's Ozark. I've always liked Ozark, particularly for the performances of its leads. Jason Bateman, Laura Linney, Julia Gardner, all of them are excellent. And the level of actors in the third season increases significantly with the addition of Tom Pelphrey and Jessica Francis Dukes. So it's such a strongly acted series. But the past seasons have been trying too hard to be quirky, by which I mean, for some reason, season 2 was done in this bluish tint. I don't know why. I don't know necessarily what it was trying to symbolize. All I did know was that it was really irritating, and I did not like it. It didn't diminish the series much because the performances are that strong. It was irritating because it was pretentious. Because, let's be honest, if you're not Guillermo del Toro, few people can get the color shading thing right. He does it in all his movies, and it works really well. I haven't seen too many directors who are able to pull it off to the degree that he can. So with season 3, they got rid of that entirely, which is great. Another thing they did, which I appreciate, is that they got rid of some of the quirkiness of the show. Sometimes there were characters who appeared to be odd just for the sake of being odd, and that was bothersome to me because it was a distraction to what was going on around them. For instance, the bird's son, if I recall, season 2 had a thing for dead objects, birds and that type of thing. And they did away with that entirely, and I am so glad for it. It's not that people can't have that type of issue, it's that that type of issue in this type of environment reeks of overkill and overriding. Just make him a normal kid for the most part. The rest of it will take care of itself. Don't make him weird for weirdness' sake. Though they upped the ante on what makes this show great, namely the writing and the acting. It is really strong. It works really well. And as opposed to prior seasons, there's a thematic element that's coming through, I think, really clearer this season than I have seen it in any other season. Namely the idea of corruption. In the sense that the Bird family are not criminals, at least not initially. But the deeper they get in, the more they try to justify what they're doing, the more criminal they become. It's really interesting. And this theme overrides the entire season and affects everyone in it, from the birds themselves to their children. Everyone is touched by violence, and this corruption just rots them from the insides in very interesting ways. It's subtle. It's not necessarily spelled out, I don't think, but I feel it's very apparent. And there are other themes as well, but the theme of corruption and people, good people doing very bad things is very present and very welcome. Ozark is really surprising me in that I always enjoyed it, but it's literally becoming one of the better shows on television. I wouldn't put it at Breaking Bad or The Wire levels of good, but, well, I should say, I shouldn't put it at The Wire and Breaking Bad levels of good, but it's getting there. It's certainly approaching Breaking Bad. They're interesting characters. They're getting deeper and deeper into this violent, insanely criminal world, and they're coping. But that's the thing, and that's the theme of corruption I mentioned earlier. They're coping, but to cope in those type of situations, you become part of it. The evil and the banality that they see around them is becoming them. And that's what's fascinating about, at least for me, that's what's fascinating about Ozark and why I think you'll really enjoy it. This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Review. Peace.